I'm going to talk about AI in Sitecore Personalize, so we'll cover a lot of products. My name is Szymon Kuźniak. I'm a senior Sitecore developer at Actum Digital. I work with Sitecore for, 15 years maybe, something like that. I'm a 2 times MVP. And I recently started looking into other Sitecore products, not just the classic XM. And the result is some few experiments, and one of them you're going to see. This will be mostly demo, but before I get to my demo, I just want to explain a couple of concepts. How many of you already work with Personalize? Okay, so maybe it's a good idea. What is Sitecore Personalize in the first place? And according to Sitecore, from the marketer's point of view or the marketing user, it allows people to deliver data-driven, which we will rely on personalization effortlessly with intuitive drag-and-drop user interface. So in theory, Personalize should allow marketers to easily build personalizations based on data. And the keyword here is the experience, because personalizations in Sitecore Personalize are called experiences. So when I'm going to click on the UI and there will be experiences, these are basically personalizations. And there are two types of experiences. There is a web experience, which we'll not cover today because it's a rather simpler approach. This is the case when Personalize replaces or injects the code without the website even knowing it. So we can create a component in Personalize, attach some JavaScript to either replace, as in this case, or add some elements to the code, and we don't have to interact with, we don't have to do anything from the code. Everything is done from the Personalize perspective. The second experience, which I'm more interested in today, is the interactive one. This is more versatile, and in this case, the component has to call Personalize directly, and Personalize will reply with JSON response. And based on that JSON response, we can update the content. What are the main differences? The web experience, as the name suggests, is mostly for websites. It's easier to visually set up the web experience because we can configure it so it shows the component. The marketer will just enter some data and it will be injected or replaced depending on the setup. And it also has a simpler decisioning. And on decisioning, this is the thing that I care the most when doing this demo. So interactive experience is more versatile because it returns JSON. It can be used in mobile application, for example, or actually anywhere. There's not so good visual setup, and it has advanced decisioning. And decisioning is also an important thing that I'm going to focus. And decisioning is the way for marketers to build decision models that will be used to output something in the JSON response. So using drag and drop interface, the marketers can map some inputs to outputs and create a decision model where we use some data that we get from session from the user. We put this into a decision table where we map this data to some other values. We can then pass it on and finally get some value that we're going to pass to our component. So this is what I care the most when integrating with AI models, because into the decisioning model, I can inject my own AI connection and ask it to do something. I'm just simply want to use one of the blocks of the decision model to be my AI connection. Yeah, let's go for the demo. My experience will basically call the Personalize API. Personalize will call decision model, and we pass the data as a JSON response. So I have this pretty simple e-commerce website. It's not based on Sitecore, so it's like a Next.js website. And what I'm going to do is, depending on the search of what the user will search for, or what is passed as the search parameter here, I'm going to ask the AI to generate me a title. This is maybe a bit of naive example, but in order to get something more real world, I would need to have more data, which I don't have. So yeah, but maybe, yeah, I didn't think about that. Maybe I could ask AI to try to evaluate how cool I am, and based on that, maybe compute some discount for the users. But yeah, this is for the next version. Okay, so as I said, we're going to look, let's see if I'm still logged in. Okay. This is Sitecore Personalize. I'm going to go to the experiences, and I'll try to build this experience right now. So as I said, I have the web interactive. Triggered is even different. I'm interested in the interactive experience. Okay. I need to name it. The ID is the reference that I'm going to use in my code. And each experience consists of the API response. When I create the API response, that's going to be sent to the client. I need to put something here to continue. So I would just add maybe last seen date. And if you wonder, maybe I'll try to make it bigger. How do I know what I should put here? On the side, there is a data selector where I can select either example data or some real world user. So when I go back to my website, there should be the browser ID, which is here. I've output it as a console log, so I can say it. This is the unique ID that is assigned to my session, so I can identify the session in Personalize. And using this ID, I can try to identify. So I have two. This was this one. I can identify the user and see the data. So everything that's here, I can access when I'm building my API response. So let's go with this for now. And now I'm going to build my decision model. Okay. Okay, and the question is, or might be, why I simply don't call the Open API directly and just use Personalize and do all the hassle. So one of the advantages of using API is this, that whenever I build the decision model, I can have multiple versions in different stages. As you can see here, I have a draft, test, production, or archive. And I can even run many of them and distribute the traffic that each will get, and then run some tests on it. So Personalize gives me some additional tools to manage the traffic. I'm going to create a variant. Let's call it V1. And this is the drag and drop interface that can be used to build the decision model. So for my case, I have a very simple model that will consist of two steps, but it will use some JavaScript. And if you wonder, again, how do I know what to put here? Again, I can go on the site to the data. Actually, here it will be visible even better. And here I get the entire JSON object that Personalize gets every time this code is being executed. So I can check that I have here the guest object. Then it has the sessions. So I'm going to select my most recent session. where I can identify all the events. And from the events, I'm going to find the view event. And in the view event, I have my query passed from my query string. And based on this object, I can build this. I build this piece of code that will select my most recent session. From all the events, it will select first with the type view, and then it will return the query. So this code extracts from the object just the search query. What I need, also some name for it to reference it in my next node. If I go back to Canvas, I can go to add my analytical model. Now the analytical model, it's a connection to OpenAI API. I'm going to use this one, and quickly, just to show you how it looks like, this is not the one. It's a simple post with an authorization token that allows me to select my model. As an input, it uses the query, and here is my instruction of what it should do. So it basically said that as a marketer of clothing brand, you should provide an informal title based on the provided query. So I can test it. And as you can see, because it uses a variable here, I have to provide the variable or not. And yeah, I'm getting a response, and somewhere here should be my output. Oh, this is the text. So from this output, I'm going to extract the text and put it onto the banner. Okay, so let's get back to my decision model. I'm going to connect this JavaScript piece of code that extracts search query with my model. As an input, I'm going to use search query, and as an output, I will simply get the output from the model. Okay, so that should be it. Now, in order to use it, I have to move it to production. And once I move it to production, I cannot edit it. So this has to be tested. I trust myself here. And then I have to consume the output of the decision model here. So I also have this piece of code that basically checks whether I have anything in my decision model, and then iterate another JSON object to get the output from my banner text creator. So this is the name of this is the name of the name of the output of my model. And this is the search query. So basically, if I try to preview this, I need to get some example data. I need to save this. Okay, and if I test it or not. So do I have some data here? So again, I'm looking for the view event. It should have the, yes, it should have the data. But it still shows. Sorry?
Did you link decision model to the
This is great point. Yes, I didn't link any decision models. So there is code, but there's nothing to use. Thank you very much. So I have to add my decision model. And in order to do that, I have to refresh this page because it doesn't know about new models that were created. Okay, filters allows me to further filter my experience to just some types of users. You can see that after the refresh, the model's here. It's linked. So now when I test it, it should work better. Or not.
I think there was some typo in some of the inputs. I think it was missing the letter. It was not text but X somewhere.
Okay.
I think I saw it in a response.
So this is going to be fun.
I mean, just experience response to the right, so you can check. Is this? Yeah. Now, I don't know.
No. Java socket timeout exception. So I don't think it's a typo. I had some issues with the connection. So let's see if it still works. Yeah, I guess that's the problem. The connection just doesn't work. So let's try again. Now, why I'm trying again? Because it wasn't very deterministic and it sometimes tried after refreshing. I have absolutely no idea why, but as you can see, let's try run it again. Nope. Interesting. Okay, I'll still try to. Oh, yeah. And for whatever reason, there is a goal required to track the performance, but we can overcome it because it doesn't make sense in this context. So I'm going to start the experience and hope for the best. I need to copy this ID. And now I need to switch to my Visual Studio Code. And there's the entire method where I handle the personalization. I track some event about my banner impression. It's not really relevant. This is the important part. I have to create an object where I provide the friendly ID of my experience. And then I'm calling the personalize method on the engage object. I will log the response. And if I have all the data, I will try to set banner text on my page. So fingers crossed. Nope. Okay, so it still returns the decisioning error. Let's see. Okay. Now, let's see once more. We should have something different or another error. This is sandbox, so yeah, don't make any assumptions about how Sitecore performs. I don't know. What should I look for? Glasses. Yep. So it generates text based on my input. That's it, pretty much.
Thank you very much, Szymon.